Hello, and today I'm going to be doing a versus 32X versus the Sega CD. Now, the Sega CD, I'm going to start with it first, detach it from the Genesis, and, well, there's some pros and cons to this. The pro is that they're CDs, and Sonic CD is on this. That's the pro. The con is FMV videos. They're horrible, they're terrible, no one likes them. Just nobody likes them. So, the Sega CD, the great thing about FMV videos, though, is that me and my dad will watch them and laugh at them. Because they are so hilarious. The cheesy acting, like there's one guy in Surgical Strike who says, "You gotta try to be that bad. You have to work hard to be that bad." It's just so funny watching those. I mean, if you have a Sega CD, get Surgical Strike or get Double Switch, because it's so funny to watch those. Me and my dad were just laughing. So, the Sega CD was the first add-on to the Genesis. Now I will be looking at the second add-on, which I'm not taking out of the Genesis like I did the Sega CD, because those wires that plug into the Genesis and into the 32X are really hard to get in and get out and get connected. 32X. Some pros and some cons of this is that, well, a pro is that it can play your Genesis games. You don't have to plop this out and everything. Looks styling, even though a lot of people think it looks ugly. Now here's the bad part. One of the cons of this is that the video. This is the AV cable coming out of the 32X. So the AV port, where if you're just playing Genesis, where this would be is right here. Except you plug a wire into here, and it comes, the AV signal comes all the way up this wire and comes out of this. So, it's a mess to hook up. Has its own AC adapter, but both of them do. So that doesn't really matter if you're choosing one or the other. I just smacked it against that thing. Another thing. The 32X is hard to find. 32X, it's hard to get all connected. I mean, the connection's terrible. Those wires, you really have to shove them in and make sure it's connected. But they work. Sega CD, I can't say the same thing. The tray one would break. I mean, that thing got worn out. This one, a little bit more reliable, but I've heard stories of it coming up on the television where it says CD door won't close, and you got it closed with a game in there. So even the Model 2s are prone to failure, and these are a lot more likely to be broken. So, out of both of them, I'm going to take a look at their library, which most Sega CD games are FMVs. And a fun fact about the Sega CD is that Sony made a whole bunch of games. They even made Dracula. Just to piss off Nintendo, because Nintendo cut the deal with the add-on for the Super Nintendo. But the Sega CD failed, and it failed badly, but it's still the most profitable add-on there ever was. It was the best add-on that ever existed. Like, you don't look at which add-on made the most money. You look at which add-on lost you the least amount of money. Because every add-on in history has failed. None of them had made any company any money. All add-ons failed. I'm not talking about accessories. I'm talking about add-ons. Kinect failed. Sega CD failed. And the 32X failed. So, one more thing to talk about is these are twice as much. These cost about twice as much as the 32X. These can go for like $100. Those can go for maybe $75, $60. You can get lucky and find one for $50. So these are more expensive at the time. They might get cheaper in the future, but they might just get more expensive because these things break. Anyway, looking at the library of games, 2 games that aren't completely FMVs. This is a side scroller. It gets boring. It's called Cliffhanger, but it is a decent game. I mean, it's not fun. There isn't really a whole lot of FMV, even though the whole beginning of it is all FMV. You can see the background. So, I don't know. This game's okay. Still made by Sony. Yeah, it's not horrible. It is a side scroller, and if you're really, really bored and you don't have a Genesis next to you, it'll do, you know? It'll do. So, another game. Sega CD. The only good game on it is Sonic CD. I'm not joking. They messed up Star Wars. The Star Wars game. I feel disgusted even holding this. Spent $20 on this. It is complete in the box, even with that little furry piece that covers the disc. Star Wars Rebel Assault for Sega CD. It's horrible. I'd break it right now if I didn't pay $20 for it. Anyway, this game, I would show you gameplay of it, but the gameplay's not bad. Looking at it, it's not bad either. It just has really bad control. Really bad control. So, there are no good games for the Sega CD, unless you're willing to pay $50 for Sonic CD. Now, to take a look at the 32X, I am going to go grab my game. Now that I took a really good look at the Sega CD, I'm going to be taking a very good look at the 32X. Now, the 32X, as clearly stated, is okay. Now, this is my dad's. I don't like wrestling, but even he didn't like this. So this game's not good. Yeah, don't buy it. We spent $25 on it, but it is in the box. Complete in the box. Now, this is one of the few games that are made like a Genesis box, but most of them were made in cardboard. Now, I did do a full review of the 32X, but this, I'm just comparing both of the add-ons. So, I have 3 more games. First one I'm going to talk about is Doom. The best cartridge port of Doom I have ever seen. It is thebomb.com, and I paid $10 for this. Not a huge amount of money, but it is worth it. If you got 32X, buy Doom. It is great. Unbelievably good game. Now, another game I'm going to show is Star Wars Rebel Assault. Or no, well that's weird. They also had that on the Sega CD. If you go back and you watch my review of that, this is so much better. I mean, the controls are horrible in the Sega CD version. Graphics are okay, but this is so much better, and you aren't pestered by FMVs. Even if they're short FMVs, they're pestering. So, Star Wars Arcade is very good. You can choose Arcade or their own version of it. You just shoot down TIE fighters. Graphics are good. I mean, not a whole lot to say about it, but it's very fun. Motocross. I bought this for like $5 or $4 just because I didn't have a 32X game, and when I first got into retro gaming and I saw the 32X and the Sega CD, I thought it looked so cool. And I didn't have either of them at the time. I just got the 32X yesterday too. So I bought this game right away. I didn't care if it was bad. It was a 32X game, and I, like, set it up. Like, it was a rare game. I set it up on one of my shelves. But then I eventually just, like, slide it in like it's any regular game. Since I have an assortment of Sega 32X games. Actually, let me show this some more. Don't buy this game. Don't buy it unless you find it for $1. This game, the graphics are great. It's oddly colored, like the title screen is purple and green. It looks very ugly. Graphics are good, controls are alright, but it's way too easy to fall over on your bike and you gotta get back up and crash into people. It's not fun. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. It's like E.T. for the Atari 2600. It does what it's supposed to do. It's just not fun. The concept is not fun. Now, between the 32X having generally better games that aren't expensive, having a horrible wire setup, looking bad to most people, I think it looks okay. And then you got Sega CD over here, which you and your family will have so many laughs with this. You guys will have a blast with the Sega CD. And one good game, Sonic CD. Pretty fun. Very fun game. I've seen it. I've heard it's hard, though. Between the both, I definitely think this looks better. Especially the Model 1. The Model 1 is styling. But, between both of them, I would have to go with the 32X. The 32X is not... Well, it's not the greatest console, just because the Sega Saturn was already announced. But if you look at the power of the 32X and the Sega CD versus the Sega Saturn, like, I know they didn't make a whole lot of games, but one game came out for 32X and Sega Saturn. 32X Sega CD called Corpse Killer also came out for Sega Saturn. Now, eventually, I will be doing 32X plus Sega CD versus the Sega Saturn, and seeing which one defeats. Who defeats. But anyway, I think Sega 32X is better than the Sega CD. So thank you for watching my Sega CD versus 32X. I hope you enjoyed it, and also watch some of my other versus videos. I might eventually do one of PlayStation versus Xbox.